On today's episode of What the Fuck is Donald Trump Talking About, he's going for the hat trick. Honestly, I don't even know where the fuck to start with this guy anymore. I mean, not only does he claim to have invented the word caravan, but he also somehow claims to have friends, and that so many people all the time are coming up to him asking how they can become U.S. citizens. He then goes on to claim that he has a rich friend that has been trying for 11 years to become a U.S. citizen. Clearly the guy's not smart enough to pass the test, Donnie.
Came up with the name caravan because we had caravans of 15, 20,000 people pouring in. I'll tell you what, we had it stopped pretty early. But now if you look at these caravans, these are massive, massive caravans, and they have no idea who these people are coming into our country. They're walking in unabated. There is nothing, that nobody's asking them about health. It's hard to get in. I have so many people, can you help me become a citizen? I say, yeah, go to the southern border, just walk across the line. You know, I have a guy, rich guy, wants to become a citizen. And he's gone through everything. He's gone to school to study and this and this and that. He's been working for 11 years. He hasn't been able to pull it off, okay? And I finally said to him, you know, you've been working so hard. Why don't you just go down to Mexico and sort of start walking across our border? They'll take you gladly. They won't even talk to you. Now, how ridiculous is it?
And his old accordion hands actually claiming that if he were to be reinstated as president of the United States, that he would end the Ukraine-Russia war in 24 hours. And if I'm following old slurry speech correctly on this, I believe he's claiming that millions of people have already died in Ukraine, but people are just not reporting it. Stay tuned for the last clip for proof of why this is just utter nonsense.
The guy's going to be in world, remember Crooked Hillary? He's going to cause a war in his first week in office because they think that's my personality type. It's actually the opposite. My personality kept us out of war. And I told you before, would have never happened with Russia. Would have never gone in. Putin would have never, ever gone in. And even now, I could solve that in 24 hours. It's so horrible what happened. I mean, those cities are demolished now. The people, I'll bet you have millions. It could be millions of people. How can you know, they bomb a city to the ground. These big buildings come tumbling down. They say 2 people were injured. Not 2 people. They lie. I mean, they lie. But if I were president, you would have 0 chance that war would have happened.
Now I want you to hear what the kitty grabber said on some schmuck's podcast about a year ago, and tell me if this sounds like somebody, if they were to get back into office, would lift a fucking finger to do anything about the situation in Ukraine right now. And who the fuck are we all kidding? We know if he did lift a finger in this situation, who it would benefit in the end, and I can guarantee you it wouldn't be Ukraine. His old saggy skin openly complimenting Vladimir Putin, calling him incredibly smart, saying he's a genius for openly claiming portions of Ukraine to now be parts of Russia, claiming he's just a peace force and that the United States could use a peace force just like Vladimir Putin and the Russian army.
As we know, Russia has said that they are recognizing 2 breakaway regions of Ukraine, and now this White House is stating that this is an invasion. That's a strong word. What went wrong here? What has the current occupant of the Oval Office done that he could have done differently?
Well, what went wrong was a rigged election. And what went wrong is a candidate that shouldn't be there and a man that has no concept of what he's doing. I went in yesterday and there was a television screen and I said, this is genius. Putin declares a big portion of the Ukraine. Putin declares it as independent. Oh, that's wonderful. So Putin is now saying it's independent, a large section of Ukraine. I said, how smart is that? And he's going to go in and be a peacekeeper. That's the strongest peace force. We could use that on our southern border. That's the strongest peace force I've ever seen. There were more army tanks than I've ever seen. They're going to keep peace all right. No, but think of it. Here's a guy who's very savvy. I know him very well. Very, very well. By the way, this never would have happened with us. Had I been in office, not even thinkable. This would never have happened. But here's a guy that says, you know, I'm going to declare a big portion of Ukraine independent. He used the word independent. And we're going to go out and we're going to go in and we're going to help keep peace. You got to say that's pretty savvy. And you know what the response was from Biden? There was no response.